Hi, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my Cosmic Corner of the Internet, where we discuss all things astrology, and today, all things Sagittarius Descendant, what Gemini risings are looking for in love, connection, and partnership. Our astrological natal chart tells us a lot. Not only does it tell us the story of our strengths, challenges, and the themes that we'll be exploring in this lifetime, it also tells us the ideal other to have on the journey, our ideal right-hand man, our ideal partner in crime. That's very relevant for this axis. Our ideal partner, right? A true partner. Because oftentimes when it comes to connection, we think that we want someone exactly like us, and that is not the case. We look for someone who complements us, who really heightens our strengths, who really makes up for our deficiencies, right? We're looking for balance within the chart and within our lives when it comes to our partner. And Descendant tells us the story of our spouse. It can tell us the story of our ideal business partner, essentially the energy that we can feel that we don't embody. So we look for in others to balance us out. We're always looking for balance, my love. And one of the pieces within the natal chart that we look to is the Descendant, because you as a Gemini rising, you essentially see the world through these Gemini sunglasses, right? You see the world as it relates to curiosity and connection. And across the chart is Sagittarius. So you can find you are magnetized towards people who embody that Sagittarius archetype. So within this video, we'll be breaking down how that Sagittarius archetype shows up in the most high vibrational, amazing ways that you should look out for, as well as how it can show up in some of its shadow sides that I want you to be conscious of. You might listen to that part and be like, yep, I had an ex who did that. I had a business partner who did that. That always comes up within my connection. So important to tune in. Just because we're drawn to someone doesn't mean that they're always right for us. So it's really important to understand this angle. I also want to make a quick note that this isn't the one and all component of a birth chart. There's so much depth within our natal chart, but this is a lovely place to start to really begin to tune in. So without further ado, let's take it into the light side of having Sagittarius on the Descendant. Okay, my loves, so this is not an angle that fundamentally has to do with you. It is an angle that has to do with others. To understand you'll want to check out the Gemini rising video, because essentially that's how it is that you see the world and how it is that the world sees you, right? So seeing the world through this Gemini lens around where is it that I can learn? Where is it that I can connect? How is it that I can communicate? It is this energy that is nimble, that is adaptable, that is open, that wants to connect, that wants to communicate. And this is all well and lovely within your chart. And you can find when you pick partners who embody the Sagittarius archetype, it balances out some of your deficiencies. Some of them being, there can be a tilt towards being very distracted, gaining a lot of shallow knowledge on a lot of stuff without being kind of a master in one particular pursuit. There could be a tendency to value other people's opinions more than your own personal meaning, which is why a partner who embodies the Sagittarius archetype will be helpful in your journey. Notice how I'm saying embodies the Sagittarius archetype. I'm not saying you need to go find the local Sagittarius and wife them up. That's not it at all. Just thinking about these qualities and considering people who embody them, maybe individuals who have a strong Jupiter lens to their chart, or just kind of show up in these Sagittarian themes in one way in their life or another. So let's dive into it. So you are drawn to individuals who live life big. As a Gemini rising, you are someone who needs a lot of stimuli. You need to feel mentally invigorated and excited by life. So having a partner who is mundane or boring or deeply routine around the same thing over and over, that's not going to fly with you. Like, I really highlighted this partner in crime energy because that is the Gemini Sagittarius dynamic. Like, you need someone who lives big, who has big experiences, who will meet you as it relates to your curiosity to see new places and meet new people. So you are drawn to individuals who make the world feel bigger rather than feel smaller. Like, you can find when it comes to partnerships, whether it's like a really shallow-minded business partner or a spouse who just wants you at home all the time, you can find that you are resistant to individuals who make your world feel more restricted rather than individuals who make your world feel more expansive and exciting. You are drawn to people who live with a zest, who are excited about the possibility, who are very big picture oriented. And this can show up as being drawn to very philosophical partners, very worldly partners, very learned concerned partners, but individuals who make you feel more connected to the big picture and who also live their life with this fullness, right? Like your descendant ruler is Jupiter, the biggest planet within the solar system. So you are drawn to people who, might have big emotions, big passions, big opinions, right? They don't live life small. They live it bigger, and you are drawn to individuals who widen your world as a result. And you are also drawn to individuals who do have a strong sense of meaning, because you as a Gemini rising, you have a tendency to focus on the trees rather than the forest. And your ideal other is someone who anchors you into, well, look at the forest, look at the big picture of the matter, right? You're drawn to individuals who are visionaries in that sense and who take you out of your mind. Because you as a Gemini rising, you are constantly processing and analyzing and attuning to all of these little components, getting distracted. And your ideal other is the one who reminds you, hey, take a look to the big picture, take a step back, observe what it is that your life is without feeling bogged down by all the details. Observe what it is that you believe in rather than considering everyone's opinion. You are drawn to individuals who do live their life from a sense of meaning, because you as a Gemini rising, you view the world through a sense of knowledge and logic, right? And you can find that you're drawn to individuals, whether this shows up within their own faith in themselves, within their faith in God, within their faith in spirituality, their faith in academia. You are drawn to individuals who do have a anchoring as it relates to their own sense of meaning or their own sense of the big picture of it all, and aren't necessarily swayed by other people's opinions, which can be a very balancing energy for you having Gemini on the ascendant. And you're drawn to individuals who are life of the party, who are exciting, who are comedic, who are very intelligent. You can be drawn to individuals who are from a different place than you are. Like, it helps your Gemini rising self, because again, you're very curious, you're very inquisitive. It helps to be drawn to individuals who do have a lot to show you and teach you and do want to explore life with you, right? And have this kind of fun lens of it all. Like, that is what you are looking for. And you can find you look for this when it comes to business partnerships, around individuals who can inject some fun and some meaning into what it is that you do. Your spouse who has this energy of like spontaneity, or this energy around everything works out, because it's important. You as Mercury, you view things around, okay, logically what needs to happen, whereas your descendant ruler is Jupiter. So you can find you're drawn to people who are lucky. They're like, everything works out. It could stress you out, their spontaneity, and they're like, it'll work out. But somehow you'll observe through the context of interacting with them, like, wow, it kind of does. So it balances your chart around having a little bit more faith. Having faith in your own, what it is that you believe in, having faith around the big picture of it all, having faith that things do work out. Like, your partner takes you out of your mind and into your spirit. So you can find that your partner is someone who inspires you to expand your horizons as it relates to your spirituality, your religion, your learning, your travel, right? And also kind of has this lens around things work out, trust in the universe, have a sense of faith, right? That is very helpful for you as a Gemini rising. So to get more context around what you are looking for, because again, there's a lot of factors in the birth chart, but to tune into your ideal other, I want you to find Jupiter within your birth chart. I want you to note its sign. I want you to know what house it's placed in. I want you to note its aspects. And this could describe not only just your ideal other, but how it is that you can interact or find that partner, where it is that you can meet them. So I'll give some examples. Let's say you observe within your chart that you have Jupiter in Cancer. So you have a Sagittarius Descendant, but Jupiter in Cancer. While you'll still be drawn to individuals who are worldly, who are funny, who are honest, right? With Sagittarius on the Descendant, you can find that you're also drawn to individuals who exert Cancer qualities. So you're looking for someone who, yes, is worldly and loves to travel, but also loves to be at home. It's a little bit of a homebody, or really, really honors their traditions or their culture. And so then we consider it's in the second house. So it might be drawn to someone who's expansive, the Sagittarius quality, but someone who's very expansive as it relates to their resources. So maybe they aren't constantly moving towards a sensation of finding the truth or finding a sensation of meaning within their life. Maybe they do have this moritis, or the desire to expand as it relates to their finances. Maybe they're very intelligent as it relates to finances and possessions, things of the nature. So you'll want to tune in to where Jupiter is placed within your chart, because it begins to kind of dial in the intricacies of what it is that you are looking for. I'll give one more example. So let's say you have Sagittarius Descendant and you observe that your Jupiter is placed in Aries within the 11th house. So you could be drawn to someone who is expansive expansive and kind of like impulsive, right? With the Aries energy, maybe someone who's a little bit competitive, who's constantly pushing themselves to do better, to achieve more, especially in the 11th house of hopes and dreams. And maybe it's someone who makes you feel more connected to friendships, who is very social with its placement within the 11th house. Someone who works online or has a large audiences, or in Sagittarius style preaches to large audiences. So you'll want to dive into that house, that sign, and the aspects that your Jupiter is making to begin to tune into, okay, what is my flavor of Sagittarius Descendant that I am looking for? However, it's not always life of the party and good times and travel when you have a Sagittarius Descendant, okay? There is a shadow side, even to this optimistic energy, this everything works out sort of Sagittarius energy, there can be a downside. So let's get into it. The first thing that I want you to be conscious of in connections is you could be drawn to people who are honest to the point of being very blunt. Sagittarius is the truth seeker. So the good thing is that you are drawn to people who do live in a sense of truth, of finding their own personal truth, but you can also find that they're a little too blunt and they're a little too honest with you at times. It could be a little bit of an out, right? Sagittarius is a very, very forthright sign around what it is that they believe in. You can find that these are the individuals where they have no problem getting up on their soapbox, wherever it is that they are, to preach about what it is that they are opinionated about, right? It's very hard for individuals who embody a strong Sagittarius archetype that you could be drawn to. It's very hard for them to fake the funk, to be in situations that they do not align to or do not agree with. You as a Gemini rising are very skilled and adaptable when it comes to connecting with all different sorts of people, but your Sagittarius partner might find it very hard to bite their tongue at your work dinner party if a subject comes up that they're passionate about. Like, they are truthful and they will speak their truth. Like, that is a Sagittarius lens, which again can be very lovely, but also it can have its certain hindrances and challenges. I also want you to be conscious of individuals who exert this element of Sagittarian freedom to an excess, okay? Because Sagittarians are an energy that crave freedom. They crave expansion. They want the world to feel bigger rather than smaller. And that works for you as a Gemini rising. Like, you are curious. You want a lot of experiences. You want to learn a lot about this world. And you find that with individuals who exert a strong Sagittarius signature within their chart. However, you can find that you are drawn to individuals who are tough to pin down, who don't want to settle down, who constantly want to do their own thing. Again, like, you're ruled by Mercury, so you tend to be above average as it relates to communicating, and you can find your partners just kind of want to be able to do their own thing without looping you in to it, which again doesn't always fly. So you can find that you're drawn to perhaps Peter Pan types who don't want to grow up. You could find you're drawn to individuals who detest commitments and responsibilities altogether. Like, they never want to sign a lease for longer than 6 months. Like, commitment can be challenging for these individuals because they do deeply value freedom. That's deeply important to your partners if you do have Sagittarius on Descendant. Again, there will be intricacies within your birth chart, but also observing how you've been drawn to individuals who don't necessarily want to commit, whether that shows up within business and love, and how it is that they deeply hold their own freedom paramount. And my final is that these individuals can be drawn towards excess, right? They want more, more, more. Like, with the energy of Jupiter, it is expansive. So again, life will never be dull with the partners that you choose. But there can be an energy where they spend a lot, they eat a lot. Like, it can be hard to live a life of kind of discipline and structure with your partners. Like, they could just want it all. They can, you know, have issues towards excess, whether it's like gambling or drinking or anything of the nature. They have this optimistic lens on life, which is beautiful. Like I was highlighting earlier, it helps you feel more connected to the big picture of your world, to your own personal sense of meaning. But also there could be this energy of optimism to an excess, right? Thinking it's all going to be all right when it's like, I don't know, you didn't pay your taxes for years and you're just acting like it's going to be okay. Like, with the energy of Sagittarius Descendant, being conscious of individuals who do live a life of excess, whether that shows up when it comes to how it is that they spend money, when it comes to how it is that they handle their responsibilities, being like, I'll do it tomorrow, it's all good. Optimism can be an excess. And that's where you kind of balance them out, because you are someone who lives life from your mind, constantly thinking, analyzing. So truly, when we think about this axis within a connection, in astrology, we're looking for someone who complements us, right? So if you can sort of add some of your brainy power to be like, okay, let's handle the details. Let's, let's eat something healthy. Let's not just book a trip to Bali rather than dealing with our problems. Like, let's be a little logical about this. If they're open to that, that's where the true power of this connection lies, because they can infuse you with a sense of meaning and optimism when you need it, when you need to get out of your brain, and you could sort of ground down their kind of overdoing energy. And that's where true partnership is when we can sort of influence one another to be the best versions of ourselves, sort of calming down some of the excess energy within the other, as well as encouraging the factors that would be the most helpful within their life. So that is what I would advise looking for when it comes to connections. Truly, you are drawn to individuals who are freedom seeking, who love life, who live life big, who never fail to find the humor and the enjoyment within the circumstances, who make every day feel like an adventure, who are constantly looking to expand. Just being mindful around being drawn to individuals who detest commitment, who sometimes overdo it when it comes to partying or travel or money or what have you. And so long as you guys can balance one another out, this is such a dynamic duo. Like, this is truly partner in crime. Like, Sagittarius and Gemini, I would argue, is one of the most fun axes within astrology. Like, you are drawn to someone who is as curious about life as you are, someone who wants out of life all that you want out of life, which is being very wealthy in experiences and very wealthy in connections. Like, you are drawn towards individuals who also are looking for that out of life. How you guys find that is quite different. You more so look for it as it relates to social connections and things of that nature. They more so look for it when it comes to travel and philosophy and academia. But I will tell you, this will be a connection where you both are constantly learning, constantly exploring, constantly evolving, and it's a beautiful connection when leveraged healthfully and not down those destructive avenues that I highlighted. So my loves, I would love to hear, have you had exes who remind you of this energy? Have you had past business partners who remind you of your energy? Please let me know below. I apologize if this video is a little late. There's a lot of other content that was going up, so I had to delay the Descendant series, but I'll be continuing on and getting this series all wrapped up so I can really begin to tune into this particular angle within the birth chart. My love, I hope you are doing well, sending you so much love, and until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.